MLBShop.com. From official jerseys and memorabilia to hats and hoodies, visit MLBShop.com/Mets, the official source for your Mets gear. Your Papa John's key ingredients. Mets have beaten the Braves 5 out of 8. And they have, they've walloped the Braves staff to the tune of 6.6 runs per game and 906 OPS. Only they could do that against everybody else. Gifts and butts, candies and nuts. Sean Manaea goes to the mound for his 9th start of the year. First pitch is coming right up. This season, one good one, one not so good one in his 2 starts against Atlanta. Here's the Hyundai lineup he'll face. Walt Weiss sneaks an extra right-handed bat in there, and why not? Eli White is that guy. And he has strafed lefties this year, particularly Manaea, so he's in there playing left field and batting 8th.
You know, Gary, Sean Manaea has never beaten the Atlanta Braves. You see his Toyota numbers split between the bullpen and now entrenched in the rotation. Interesting game against the Dodgers. He's had trouble with the leadoff hitter if it is of any inning. And in last game against the Dodgers, 5 of the 6 innings he went out there, he gave up a leadoff base hit. And defensively for the Mets today, in the outfield, Taylor, Newman, advantage, and this whole outfield, they can get on their horse. Whenever I see this, I want to play Monopoly. But anyways, Alvarez behind the plate, Bichette, Lindor, and Beatty and Young.
That's not a Trojan horse, is it?
No, it better not be. Although we could use some reinforcements occasionally.
Ronald Acuna came off the injured list on Monday night. First game off a hamstring injury. Got a base hit his first time up. Then struggled in the outfield and struggled at the plate for the rest of the night. Now his second game back. He'll lead off against Manaea. Sean is ready to go, and the first pitch of a long day of baseball is swung and missed. What new? 0-1. Acuna's always ready for that first pitch of the game. He's hitting just 186 against lefties this year. He's still shy of 200 at bats for the season. As for the 3rd straight year, his season has been curtailed by injuries after winning the MVP 3 years ago. And he fouls off a fastball. It's 1-2.
You know, when you watch Acuna, who's got great leverage and follow through, the bat is right in his fingers. You can see him let go of it just to keep it a nice loose grip. Hitters will tell you, you got to have a loose grip on that bat so you can release it once you make contact.
Always loved watching Lenny Dykstra play the fiddle.
That's right.
That. Like a piccolo player.
He used to get down in that real low stance on a 3-0 pitch as well. When I watch Acuna with that knee pad on, that looks like someone's going to put my carpet in.
And the 3-2 breaking ball. He stopped the swing, and Acuna draws a leadoff walk. Ronnie mentioned the problems that Sean has had facing leadoff hitters in innings this year. Batters leading off innings against Manaea have a 300 batting average with a 933 OPS, and that's forced him to pitch out of the stretch more often than he would like. Here's Drake Baldwin DHing as he did on Monday night. The sun pokes through the clouds after we had all the rain yesterday and this morning. And Baldwin takes a fastball for a strike. Baldwin, last year's National League Rookie of the Year, having an even better season this year. Was on the shelf for a month, struggled after coming back, but now is red hot again. Went 1 for 4 in the opening game of this series.
It's funny, he's got an open stance, and it's not like he steps in towards the pitcher. He maintains that open stance, but keeps that bat back and weight back.
Back-to-back left-hand hitters, Baldwin and then Olsen. And Manaea ahead of the count, 1 ball, 2 strikes. Sean faced the Braves here on June 13th, pitched a good game, gave up 2 runs in 6 innings, but lost 3-1. And then struggled on the 4th of July, matched up against Chris Sale, gave up 6 runs in 5 innings. And that was a jam shot out to second. Beatty with the backhand flip. Lindor with the turn, and they get the double play. With Baldwin, he was not speedy running out of the box. Despite the fact it wasn't hit hard, the Mets were able to turn a 4-6-3 double play.
Really nice pitch in on Baldwin. Acuna Jr. pulls up and allows the Mets to make that double play unfettered. Baldwin got stuck in the box because he was jammed so badly, and that's why they were able to turn it.
Mets turned 3 infield double plays behind Zach Thornton on Monday night. It was the first time this season they had turned 3 infield double plays in a game. Matt Olson playing in his 889th consecutive game. 0 for 3 in the opening game of this series. And he takes a strike on the inside edge, and it's 0-2.
He was vulnerable to the fastball in Monday night's game. We'll have to see if Sean tries to go after that same area this afternoon.
Hunt was very fastball heavy in his last start against the Dodgers. Goes away with a sweeper, and it's 1-2. Scott Barry's the home plate umpire today. Brock Ballou, the extra umpire at first. Tom Hanahan and the crew chief Ron Culpo round out the crew. Manny Gonzalez will have the plate in the night game. And a swing and a foul tip for strike 3. So Manaea goes upstairs to strike out Olson. And the Braves are turned aside in the opening inning. Mets come to bat in the bottom of the first. No score. A.J. Ewing got on base 3 times Sunday against the Dodgers. Had 3 hits Monday night against the Braves. And he'll try and get things going in the Honda Mets starting lineup. Lindor had a 3-hit game. Mets had 5 guys with 3-hit games on Monday night. 19 hits in all at season high.
Well, Smith Shawver, you can see start last season really is this is his 16th start in the big leagues. Only pitched 33 innings in the minors before he made his debut as a 20-year-old.
And his first pitch in 426 days misses inside for ball 1. And you see 98 on the gun. Last year with the Braves, he averaged about 95.5. But during his rehab stint, and this happens often with Tommy John guys, as that ball goes under the glove of Riley into left field, and Ewing is aboard. And that's overrun by White, but Ewing had already slammed on the brakes. So the Braves not exactly coming ready to play. 2 missed plays on the first ball put in play.
I mean, plays it on the backhand. It didn't have a chance, I guess, to sidle over and play that in front. And then Smith looks up because of the speed of Ewing and comes up empty.
Wow. So it's an error on Riley, giving the Mets a leadoff base runner. Anyway, guys coming back from Tommy John, often their velocity will increase. Command, though, seems to be the bigger issue in those first outings coming back.
Well, remember, they're gone for a long time. They're usually down at the minor league facility, and they're working out like crazy, getting bigger and stronger. That's one of the reasons they throw harder.
Lindor coming off a huge game on Monday, a triple and 2 home runs. Only the 5th man in history to have a triple and 2 home runs in the same game. The last to do it was Carlos Delgado 20 years ago. The other 3, Darryl Strawberry, Kevin McReynolds, and Rico Brogna. On the inside corner strike. The McReynolds one surprised me because it came in his second tour with the Mets. He came back in 1994 after going to Kansas City for a couple of years. It was the last year of his career. Didn't have a particularly good year, but he obviously had one huge game. Lindor skies one to deep center. Back goes Harris to the warning track. And right before the wall, he makes the catch. Lindor gave it a ride, but Harris back to get it for the first out.
Well, you never have to worry about Michael Harris, the second's defense in center field. Makes that catch easily. Eli White and Acuna Jr. Lots of speed out there. Riley, Dubon plays against the left-handers at short. Albies and Olson, who plays every day. Joey Bart behind the plate. Baldwin will probably catch game 2.
31st start for Dubon at shortstop. There's Bo Bichette, who has gotten very hot. He's really been hitting since the 1st of May, but in the last 8 games hitting .382. And against the Braves this year, 17 for 35, .486, with 11 RBIs in 8 games against Atlanta.
Gary, the other thing about Tommy John, and I talked to a lot of pitchers about it, including John Smoltz. Usually you come back with a different breaking ball. It's not the breaking ball you've always had. It's always, the shape's a little different, speed a little different.
Runner goes, and no chance for Bart. A huge jump for Ewing. Almost pretends that the ball's in center field, but Ewing is not snowed. Second stolen base of the series, and the 13th of the year for Ewing.
Well, these are the things you don't really work on too much in your rehab. It's holding runners in a big league game. So Ewing got a big, huge lead, and despite not being able to see second base, still gets in safe.
Even before he got hurt, Smith-Shawver had trouble with holding runners. Last year in his 9 starts, opposing base dealers were 7 for 8 against him. So runner in scoring position for Bichette with 1 out. Carson Benj on deck. Bichette takes a slider out of the strike zone, 2-2. Curveball line to left, coming on is White, and he reaches down and he makes the catch. Just got his glove underneath that ball on a sinking line drive hit by Bichette for the second out.
Well, White makes up for that tiny indiscretion on the ball hit by Ewing by coming up with this beautiful play. He was really trying to decide how to place his glove and ended up getting it right underneath the ball before it hit the turf.
So 2 away. Ewing still at second, and now Carson Benj. Benj 1 for 10 so far in this homestand. Got the night off on Monday night.
I remember when Shawver Smith first made his debut. People were saying he's a good control pitcher. He's got good stuff. He doesn't throw as hard as Strider. Well, he does now.
He clearly has gained some velocity. He's 23 years old. He made his big league debut at age 20 in 2023. Pitched in 6 games and was used in the postseason by the Braves that year as well. And then in 24, he pitched only 1 game in the big leagues, and he started the first game of their wild card series at age 21.
First time pitching against the Mets. First time pitching here at Citi Field.
1-2 coming. And a broken bat roller out to Albies. And he makes the play on Benj. And Smith-Shawver works around the error in the first. Helped out by Eli White. No score after 1. Off in the second for the Braves. Albies drove in all 3 Atlanta runs on Monday night with an infield hit and a 2-run homer. And he pulls that one behind the bag. Nice pickup by Bichette. And the throw on a hop gets to Young for the first out. Bichette playing right along the line against Ozzie and made a nice pickup.
I love the positioning of the defense, and he's moving that way too. So obviously the pitch relay the kind of pitch that was going to be, slider down and in, moved closer to the line, and made a ball that sometimes is a double, turns it into an out.
Now Michael Harris. Harris went 1 for 3 Monday night. Starts the day 6th in the National League in batting at .298. Does not take a lot of pitches. 3rd highest chase rate of any player in the majors, and he's kind of emblematic of the Braves' approach. They swing at a lot of pitches out of the strike zone. They hit a lot of balls in the air.
Yeah.
That's their offense. And, you know, they're second in the National League in home runs. But they don't draw a lot of walks. 13th in the league in walks. 1-2. And couldn't tease him with that sweeper, and it's 2-2.
Not only has Harris turned it around, but slugging over .500 with 19 home runs. career high, 20 home runs.
That whole hitting the ball in the air thing. Takes slow and in with a sinker, and it's 3-2. He's only drawn 15 walks this year, 382 official at bats. So you know he wants to swing the bat here on 3-2. Mauricio Dubon on deck. And he swings it and flies one foul down the right side. Let me go out of play. Michael Harris, one of several Atlanta area natives playing for his hometown team. Born in DeKalb, Georgia. And he takes a fastball just off the plate for ball 4. So he didn't chase, and he draws a walk. Just never know sometimes. This season, get a Baja for a blast. When a Mets home run clears 420 feet, you can score a free 20-ounce Mountain Dew Baja Blast. Register now at BajaBlastHomeRuns.com to unlock the offer.
Got to honor the bunt here by Dubon if you're the Mets. I know there's an out, but
Dubon started the first game of the series in left field, playing shortstop today. He's got 4 of his 10 home runs this year against lefties, including 1 against Manaea. His first walk in July in 106 plate appearances, and it was a pretty close pitch.
I know.
And Manaea airmails one past Young, and Harris will go to second. So each team has now made an error. Riley for the Braves, and now Manaea for the Mets.
I don't know what happened here to Sean, because he really took his time, and with the step, it was pretty casual throw. Maybe that's why casually he never found his mark.
Well, the Mets defense has struggled this year. Mets pitchers are rated #1 in baseball in defensive run saved. That might lower the mark a little bit.
I think plus 12 or something like that is the number.
Dubon hits one softly down to Young. He'll take it to the bag himself. Over to third goes Harris. 2 out. Well, the Braves rode high early. They built an enormous lead. What were they up? 10.5 at their apex?
Yeah, I had them 45-21, and then they've been 17-23 since.
Well, that pretty much coincides with Acuna being out. But the Phillies have been unable to take advantage, because the Phillies have gone 3-8 since the All-Star break. Phillies are finishing up their series against the Marlins today, and they've got an early lead. Not that early, 6-1 in the 5th. They started at noon. Call strike to Austin Riley. Marlins won the first 2 games of that series after losing 12 in a row. Marlins are here tomorrow night. Slider fouled off, and it's 0-2. So the Braves 6 games up on the Phillies, who hold the 2nd wild card spot. Washington is only 1 game out of the 3rd wild card spot, and Miami is 2 games out in that crowded race.
And that's 5-5 in the last 10, 4-4 since the All-Star break.
Two to Riley, and he struck him out with a fastball. So Manaea has ended each of the first 2 innings with a strikeout. No score as we go to the bottom of the 2nd at Citi Field.
Easy.
Hottest hitter in baseball right now, Tyrone Taylor, since coming off the injured list late last month. Hitting .410 with an OPS over 1,400 and 6 home runs in just 39 at-bats.
Amazing.
best stretch of his career, and it comes at an opportune time as he increases his value to the Mets, both on the field and in the trading market.
Well, I feel like every team needs pitching, right, at the trading deadline. But the theme I hear the most is a right-handed bat.
And certainly, the Phillies are front and center in that. Inside to Jared Young. Young was 1 for 5 in the opening game of the series. Polanco and Taylor to follow in the second against Smith-Shawver. A.J. Smith-Shawver, who grew up in Colleyville, Texas, where his high school teammate was Bobby Witt Jr. Witt Jr. 2 years older than Smith-Shawver, who made more of a name for himself in high school as a quarterback. That's too high, ball 4. He was a very highly rated Texas high school quarterback, and in fact, he was going to go to Texas Tech and play both football and baseball before the Braves drafted and signed him.
We saw him throwing the football before the game to get loose. Bobby Witt Sr., who was my teammate, lived in Colleyville. That's where Junior grew up. And we used to always kid him that his house was Four Flags. He just didn't have the roller coaster. He had everything else.
Here's Jorge Polanco DHing again today, trying to get himself untracked. And a real slog for Polanco since coming back from such a long time on the injured list. And he pops one up foul. Just 4 for 38 since his return.
If you want to know how far Smith-Shawver could go, he threw 86 pitches in his last rehab start. They would have loved to give him one more start, but the big leagues called.
Yeah, that was the original plan until they announced last night that he'd be coming here to start today. I mean, he went the 86 pitches, but he never got through 5 innings in any of those minor league starts. So you figure 5 is the outside for him today.
Yeah, he's been real fastball heavy so far in these first 2 innings.
When he's right, he relies on a splitter as his changeup. Last year he threw that split 34% of the time. It's a lot. Young at first with nobody out. Taylor on deck. And Polanco takes strike 3 called. Splitter on the inside corner. And that's the first strikeout for Smith-Shawver.
Polanco wanted to challenge it, but he's like, nothing else is going right this year. I better not do that as well. Might have been inside, but a good change of pace there on that splitter from Smith-Shawver.
So now Taylor, who has just been strafing it. 3-run homers in each of his last 2 games. Get more playing time with Juan Soto down for a significant period of time with a calf injury. And so Taylor getting to play, getting to be showcased, and drawing a lot of eyes. He fouls back a high fastball, and it's 1-1. I mean, if you're a team looking to add a little right-handed pop, what better than Tyrone Taylor, a guy who is absolutely perfect in the clubhouse, adapts to any role, can play all 3 outfield positions and play them well.
I mean, he can help you defensively. He's playing in New York, so he can play in a big league city. You know what I'm talking about. Lots of pressure, lots of media.
One and 2 to Taylor. Brett Beatty on deck. Cameron takes fastball outside. 2-2. It's not often that you look up at the scoreboard and you see both teams with 0-0-1. No runs, no hits, one error. Right? That's not a usual sight.
No.
Got a little mound visits and ABS challenges remaining. Swing and a miss. And Smith-Shawver with back-to-back strikeouts, 2 down.
Foul tip there by Taylor. There's not much that he hasn't made contact with, but just a good kind of riding fastball by Smith-Shawver. That had a little cut on it.
So 2 out, Young still at first. Now Brett Beatty. Brett always seems to hit well against the Braves. Started out his career with a home run in his first big league at bat in Atlanta. And for his career, Brett is hitting .327 against Atlanta pitching.
2 Texas boys going up against each other. 2 guys that play football as well.
Brett was a quarterback.
Yep. I mean, what better indication for a ball club when you draft a kid that's played Friday Night Lights? I mean, there's about as much pressure there for a 16, 17-year-old as there is anywhere.
Ball and 2 strikes to Beatty. And a fly ball out to center, circling in is Harris. And that retires the side. After 2, both teams 0-1.
SNY.
Your friendly neighborhood Spider-Man swings back into Queens on July 31st. Be one of the first 15,000 fans of the game against the Marlins and get a Spider-Man t-shirt. Tickets go to Mets.com/tickets. Spider-Man, Spider-Man.
Sweet gloves on the little guys. Red, white, and blue in the middle.
When we were kids, there was only one color.
That's right. Exactly.
And every once in a while, you'd see a kid with a black glove, and that was like a big deal.
Yeah, there was just different shades of, this is tough for me for colors, like kind of yellow, right? There'd be a lighter yellow, a darker yellow.
That's, yeah, you mean the glove, the tan, basically. You know, the way the hide
originally came.
Exactly. Yeah. Just tanned a little bit.
I remember when my dad, for Christmas, bought me Heart of the Hide Rawlings glove.
That was nothing better.
I'll never forget as long as I live. I still have that glove.
By the way, did you see the Christmas theme on Lindor's glove?
Yes.
A little ahead of the season, but it's kind of pretty. I think it's more pink than red.
He's got the greatest gloves.
It's amazing that he's able to roll a new one out there every day. Eli White fouls one away, but I guess the bottom line is that the gloves now arrive fully broken in.
Yeah, or at least partially broken in. I've told the story 100 times. Buddy Harrelson saved me. He'd break in my gloves each and every spring training. So he would wear it all during spring training when he threw BP and all that kind of stuff. And his hand was about a smaller hand than I have. So when I would get the glove, it fit tight and perfect. I mean, you couldn't get a better glove than Buddy Harrelson.
Line toward the hole, a base hit for Eli White. White has owned Sean Manaea, and he's got the first hit for either side of this game. A leadoff single in the third.
This is becoming a Reed Johnson versus Johan Santana thing here. I mean, just he's had big games against Sean. That's why he's in the lineup, and another base hit just out of the grasp of Lindor.
Eric Yelding against Frank Viola.
There you go.
Here's Joey Bart, the number 9 hitter. Starting his 13th game for the Braves since they picked him up from Pittsburgh.
Who's the Cincinnati Red that owns Seaver? Tommy Helms?
Tommy Hutton.
Tommy Hutton.
Popped up, shallow left center, long run in for Ewing or Taylor, and it's going to drop for a hit. Ewing did not get a good break on that ball. Taylor came in as quickly as he could, but that ball was in the air a long time, and it falls in for a second straight hit.
Well, we've seen if there's any Achilles heel for the young Ewing in center field is that this ball with the full swing that goes about 150 feet, he's had a hard time really gauging it. His first step is backwards. Good base running by Eli White, who went 3/4 of the way. He never could recover, and then was hoping that Taylor would pick him up, but he couldn't as well.
So 2 aboard, nobody out. Here's Ronald Acuna, and he fouls back a first pitch fastball. Acuna drew a walk leading off the game. So the Braves 8 and 9 hitters have the first 2 hits in this game. Benson already returned 1 double play behind Minaya. And Acuna chases one away, and it's 0-2. Sean's going to head 0-2 on almost every hitter.
Going nice and free and easy.
Acuna makes a huge difference, much like Soto does for the Mets. His 10th batter. He's been 0-2 on 5 of the 10. And Acuna flies one out to shallow right, and Bench has it lined up. White will stay put. That's the first out. So in Detroit today, Tarek Skubal's pitching for the Tigers against Baltimore. He picked up his 1,000th career strikeout in what might be his last start for the Tigers.
Today was his 150th start, and you're right, Gary, maybe his last. He only needed 1 strikeout to get to 1,000. So.
Trading deadline is 5 days away, and you know the Tigers put on a pretty good little run there, but they have faded lately. 3.5 back in the wild card in the American League. I mean, here's the thing: as teams make their decisions 5 days before the deadline, 24 of the 30 teams are within 5.5 games of a playoff berth. 24 out of 30. Greg Baldwin grounded into a double play his first time up. And another potential double play ball. Beatty with the backhand flip, same as the first one. 4-6-3. And they double up Baldwin to get Minaya through the inning. Day game in the middle of the afternoon in July. That means camp groups.
Got to go with the neon shop shirts so you can identify the kids when you're leaving.
Round them up, put them on the bus.
I do the same when we go to Disney World, Disneyland.
Have a good time, kids. Lots to chow down, that's for sure.
I wonder if they're on a stipend, though. Can they only get like a water, a hot dog? It depends, I guess, what they leave home with.
Might depend on, you know, the group.
It's different.
Francisco Alvarez leads off in the bottom of the 3rd and takes a strike. Alvarez has been swinging the bat extremely well, and on Monday night, for the first time in his career, he drew 3 walks in one game. And that tells you that he's being a little more patient, a little more disciplined. And you'd love to see that continue. Now he's taking a couple of strikes to start this at bat.
25 walks on the season. On base percentage of .341. That's a high number for him.
Yeah, his OPS is just under 800 now, so he's definitely had a good offensive year around yet another injury. Torn meniscus, had surgery, came back extremely quickly. Ewing and Lindor to follow. And that caught the outside corner. Good slider by Smith-Shawver for his 3rd strikeout.
That's the best breaking ball here on the 9th hitter that Smith-Shawver has thrown all game.
doing a deep dive on A.J. Smith-Shawver today. And when guys come to the big leagues with initials in their name, I always like to know what the initials stand for. You know what A.J. stands for? A.J.
Oh, that's his name.
That's his name.
Okay.
I guess his parents figured he was already saddled with 2 last names, so he didn't need a lot of verbiage in the first and middle names.
Do you think that is happens more often maybe down in the southern states, A.J., than from Texas? I don't know.
I can't remember a guy who came up with initials in his first name who that was actually his first name. First one I've come across. That doesn't mean there aren't more, but
you were looking to see Adam Joseph.
Exactly. Or you know, it could be a junior. Sometimes you get the juniors. Ground ball up the middle. That's a base hit for Ewing. So A.J. now. Well, this A.J., who's not just A.J., has 5 hits in his last 10 at bats.
I mean, we've seen the last few games what he's done against left-handed pitching. And, boy, he wears out that hole to the right of the second baseman. But you have to make sure you hit it on the screws. And he does.
So Andrew Joseph Ewing gets the base hit against just A.J. Smith-Shawver. A 1-out base runner, the Mets' first hit of the game. And here's Lindor, who flied one to the warning track in center his first time.
Second base umpire here just gave it the Olay. Just casually got out of the way.
No wasted motion. Tom Hanahan cool as a cucumber. And time was called just as Smith-Shawver was coming out of his stretch.
Yeah, that was very Astaire-like by Hanahan. Fred Astaire. Got to Google that one, I'm sure.
Well, it could be Adele.
Adele? That's right.
Sister, you know. Who's also a dancer, choreographer. Short lead for Ewing. Now he takes off. The throw to second by Bart, and Ewing has his second stolen base of the day. Did not have a big lead, but he got a great jump. 2 stolen bases today, 14 for the year for A.J.
Well, guys who don't hold runners on, if they throw over, the next pitch you can go, because they don't want to throw over the first base. They don't even want to hold runners on. They're more concerned with the hitter at the plate.
Splitter in for a strike to Lindor, 1-2. Second time in Ewing's rookie season that he's stolen 2 in one game. And Lindor yanks one foul. So Smith-Shawver starting to feature that splitter a little bit more after throwing mostly fastballs first time through the order.
But Gary, he throws that fastball 98, splitter 83, 15-mile-an-hour difference that you have to account for. Not easy.
And he got it on Lindor's hands, and he pops it up to shallow right center. Harris comes in to call, and that's the second out.
Lindor comes in, catches Joey Bart on the glove. He's just trying to say, excuse me, pardon me, didn't mean to do that.
Nobody ever means to do it, do they?
No, no one means to do it. But we have a gentler time, a gentler league. It's nicer.
Bo Bichette. Bichette was robbed of a base hit by Eli White his first time up. So, you know, Bo came to the Mets with a reputation of being great with runners in scoring position. And the first month of the season, he had 179 with runners in scoring position. Since then, 321. So he's right back to where he was. And that one's up the middle, but there's the shortstop Dubon to throw him out and end the inning. A hit and 1 left after 3. Mets and Braves, no score.
Dealer today.
SNY Play Ball presented by Toyota is back, looking to support local youth football leagues. If you know a league in need, apply today at sny.tv/playball. Road ahead presented by Infinity. Marlins are in for 4 starting tomorrow night. Oh, look, Russ made the road ahead. Hi, Russ.
Hi, Russ. Oh, man.
Looking forward to having Russ back with us before too terribly long. After the 4 with the Marlins, the Mets go to Cleveland, Pittsburgh, and Atlanta right after the trade deadline. Russ couldn't even smile for that.
He's not smiling now.
Matt Olson leads off in the 4th inning of a scoreless game. And takes fastball for a strike. Olson struck out his first time up. Manaea has given up a leadoff walk and a leadoff hit in the first 3 innings, continuing the trend against the Dodgers, who gave up leadoff hits in 5 out of 6 innings, but only 1 run. Ugly swing by Olson on a sweeper, and it's 1-2. Olson 27 home runs, tied for 4th in the National League. 3rd in the league in runs scored, 2nd in extra base hits with 53. And he lifts this one toward the left field line. Taylor coming over near the sidewall, but it's out of play. Last start threw his 4-seam fastball 63% of the time, and he is using it to great effect today as well as he gets Olson on strikes for the 2nd time.
Olson wanted to challenge that pitch, but then declined. He had his hand right near his helmet. No, too early. Okay.
Well, it's good he didn't, because it probably would have gone against him. It's Ozzie Albies, and he lifts one out to left center field. Easing back is Ewing, a step onto the warning track, and there are 2 out. So last start, 4-seam fastball 63%. Today, 73%. So he's not changing what has been working for him.
You know, Gary, he's throwing free and easy, so that tells me that he feels really good about his mechanics and where he's at. Second, I just think that the last few games he's in this mode of prove to me you can hit my fastball, and then I'll adjust accordingly.
Which is really what he did 2 years ago once he dropped his arm angle.
He's like, wow, that traveled a lot further than I thought. Note taken.
I mean, he was so successful at going from this lower arm angle and working up in the zone that entire second half in 2024.
Yeah, just, be aggressive. He was uber aggressive in that second half. When I watched Sean before that 24 season, I always thought of him as a guy with unlimited talent that had trouble being aggressive and going after hitters in the strike zone. That second half of 24, he was just the opposite. And now he's back to that kind of mode of he gets the ball, he throws it quickly, he throws his fastball, he throws strikes. And then if they make the adjustment, then he'll have to adjust. Keeping it simple, Gary, I think is what he's doing.
It's the KISS theory.
There you go. We do that in the booth all the time. That's our motif.
Well, sometimes we make things a little more complicated than we have to.
That's where the last S comes in.
For savings? Breaking ball hit out to right field. Vangees is back. He's got plenty of room, and that retires the side. 1-2-3 for Manaea. No score on the 4th. Players, we've asked for your photos, and you guys have been doing a great job getting the photos in. I like the hat pulled down over the eyes.
Yes. Big there.
Big red machine, the blue wave. We got all the colors today. The Titans. Remember the Titans?
The Titans of Hudson Valley.
Oh, Tom's River, big baseball town.
Yeah, they play some serious ball down there, especially the Mudcats.
It looks like the next Todd Frazier. Preston Bench bangs the base hit up the middle on the first hit of the bottom of the fourth. By the way, if you want to send us your photos, all you have to do is scan the code on your screen. There it is. There's the code. Get the phone, hit the camera. Focus. There you go.
A quick response, QR.
Well, got to be quick with the camera to get the quick response. Here's Jared Young, who walked his first time up. So Ewing stole in each of his first two adventures at first base. Let's see if Bench can do the same. Bench has 16 steals. He's only been caught twice. And Young flies one out to center field. Harris going back on the warning track. And he's got it. Tagging at first Bench, but he'll stay put. One out.
That's the last inning, or almost inning. Got 3 fly balls now that have gone up in the air, but really haven't carried as much as you thought they would.
Not a whole lot of wind today, and it's not that hot for late July. It's only 79 degrees. Here's Jorge Polanco, who took a call third strike his first time up. Polanco's been a really good hitter for a long time, but there just have been very few signs from him, either before or after the Achilles injury, that he's ready to break out.
Yeah, look at those numbers for his career. This is starting to become the lost season for Polanco.
And even better last year in 821 OPS with Seattle. There goes Bench, and Polanco rips one foul down past Gilbert Gomez, who had to jump to get out of the way.
Big jump there for Bench. Same kind of jump that Ewing got.
It's Schauber, first start after Tommy John surgery. His last start was also in the first game of a doubleheader in May of last year. Tonight, Chris Sale will pitch the second game. The last game that Smith-Schauber pitched, the first game of the doubleheader against the Phillies, Chris Sale pitched the nightcap. So it's almost like he's come full circle. And that's ripped down the line, but foul into the netting. 2-2 to Polanco with Tyrone Taylor on deck.
You know, I get asked all the time how do teams decide what pitcher pitches what game. A couple things here. Sale pitches whatever game he wants to pitch. And then secondly, there was a chance there still could be a little weather here early in the day and getting better. So you don't want to waste the Sale start.
Yeah, good change up there. The split change from Smith-Schauber for his fourth strikeout. 2 out in the inning for Tyrone Taylor, and we check in with Steve Gelb. Steve?
Guys, we've talked about this at times in the past, but Tyrone Taylor is just such a beloved member of the Mets clubhouse. And I was talking to Francisco Lindor today about what it is exactly that makes him someone that is so popular, so respected. He said he really is exactly the same guy. People talk about wanting to be the same guy. He really is exactly the same guy no matter what role his bench takes off. And he's out 10 the inning. We'll continue this story at another point.
So Bench caught stealing. We'll see if the Mets challenge. And they will not. We go to the 5th. Mets and Braves, no score.
All right, still scoreless as we head to the 5th inning. Mauricio Dubon leading off for the Braves. And as I was talking about at the end of the last half inning, Tyrone Taylor, so beloved, so respected in the Mets clubhouse, and Francisco Lindor was saying that it has so much to do with the consistency, that always a great attitude, is the exact same guy whether he's playing well, whether he's not playing well, starting, coming in off the bench, exact same guy. And when I asked for something even more specific than that, Lindor said this might be a bit of a nuance, but when I watch him play when the game is out of reach, when we are losing by a lot, he is still going as hard as he possibly can, and not for himself and not to up his numbers or his defense, but he says he's doing it for his teammates. He's doing it defensively so that he can give the pitcher some help. And I think when you look at this deadline now, obviously a good chance with him on an expiring deal that Tyrone Taylor will be dealt. The acquiring team, I think, is going to be trading for someone who is certainly a really good player in his role, but a clubhouse guy is I think just as much a part of the equation when you're talking about Tyrone Taylor and the run that teams are going to want to go on.
Well, certainly his reputation precedes him. There's the scouts. It was full in press dining today with the scouts in there.
You know who I'd compare him to in terms of not his skill set, but that aspect of being willing to do whatever the team needed, acquiring a guy at the deadline? Kelly Johnson.
Yeah, that's a good. I was thinking the same. As you start to go down that road, two different players, of course, but same professional attitude. And Francisco, to you, Steve, made an interesting point. When you're a professional ball player, you're with these folks for 8 months, and nothing you do is not going to surprise anyone, because everyone has seen you with all your good times and all your warts as well. So when you talk about a player like Taylor, and he's beloved by everyone, it just tells you the kind of professional courtesy he brings to the ballpark every single day.
And I think, guys, we can attest to that as well, right? I mean, we see these guys every day. I think almost every player that I've ever covered, you have moments where you say, today's not the day to talk to him. Tyrone Taylor, I have never had one day where I said, you maybe avoid him. He's not in a great place. Always smiling, always willing to talk. Just a phenomenal, phenomenal teammate in person.
Dubon grounds out to Bichette for the first out of the fifth.
He errs with a smile every day. Now, our booth here, Steve, tends to get a little moody as the season goes along.
I haven't noticed.
That's because you're not up here enough.
Why do you think my hair is so gray?
7 in a row retired by Manaea. A good sweeper there to get out. Riley 0-2. And Riley strikes out on 3 pitches for the second straight at bat. 4 Ks now for Manaea, and Riley looking lost.
So in the last inning, Sean Manaea gave 2 fly balls up to the warning track. Started this 5th inning with both hitters, first pitch breaking ball, 2 breaking balls there to Riley, and finished him off with a high heater. So you might see a few more sweepers here as he goes through second and third time through the lineup.
Now his personal nemesis Eli White takes a sweeper for ball 1. White with a base hit his first time up. Now 5 for 8 with 2 home runs against Sean. And there's that heavy 4-seam fastball usage we were talking about. Rare times it's been behind today. And now 3-0 to White with Joey Bart on deck. Look at that. Miami was down 6-0 and they've come back to tie the Phillies. Mullins came from behind in the 9th inning to win the first game of that series, and then won 1-0 behind Alcantara yesterday.
Middle relief for the Phillies is not strong. That'll be an area that Dave Dombrowski will try to address here in the next few days.
White fouls off a slow sweeper, and it's 3-2.
What a beautiful pitch. 3-1. White expecting the fastball. Gets the slow sweeper.
Each team, no runs, 2 hits, and 1 error. And a slow ground ball. White can run. Lindor gets rid of it. Safe. Eli White, one of the fastest players in baseball, even coming out from the right side of the plate where he got jammed a little bit, still able to beat it out.
I mean, he's like a track guy running from home to first. He gets jammed, but he still got out of the box pretty good. Watch Francisco had to get all the way down to get that, and in the transfer there was a split second mistiming, which allowed him to be safe at first. Not in the glove. Puts right there. Bang, bang play. Tie goes to the runner as always.
So White keeps finding ways to get aboard against Benaya. Now 6-9 against him. Oh, not that guy again. And now Bart is hit by the pitch. And that puts 2 men on. So the 8 and 9 hitters getting aboard for the second straight time. And now Benaya has to cope with Acuna with 2 on and 2 out.
Did not want to see that happen. See Acuna up in this inning. First pitch, you have to be very careful. Either you're a good sweeper for a strike or at least something down and away. Just a sweeper that Bart doesn't get out of the way and just barely off the top of the kneecap thigh of Joey Bart.
Acuna's walked and flied out. And takes it back to a sweeper outside for ball 1. And the third time around the batting order for Sean. And Acuna lashes one to deep left, but right there is Taylor to grab it, and that retires his side. A bullet off the bat of Acuna, but Benaya strands a pair.
Visit your local Mercedes-Benz dealer today.
The first 15,000 fans at the game this Sunday, August 2nd, will receive a 1986 retro jersey. For tickets, go to Mets.com/tickets. 86. That's a good year. Big celebration on Saturday, right?
You know, you and I were texting yesterday, and I included Dave, and I was just talking about Davey Johnson and the 1970 Baltimore Orioles. They won 108 games, so he was a player, second baseman on that team. Manager of that 86 team that won 108 games. Not many people have done that.
The only others who have done it were player managers on the same team. But to do it, play for one franchise, they won 108. By the way, twice, because they won 109 the year before in 69.
That's right.
The Orioles. And then manage a team to 108 wins. He's the only one. Tyrone Taylor takes outside 2-0 to Smith-Shawver. Taylor was at the plate when Benj was caught stealing to end the 4th. Tyrone struck out his first time up, and he lays off, and now it's 3-0. Smith-Shawver has walked only 1 and struck out 4 in his first start coming back from Tommy John surgery. Nobody up behind him in the bullpen, at least not yet, but now a 4-pitch walk to Taylor to lead off the 5th. Around the majors, Memorial Sloan Kettering Cancer Center. Curtis Mead's second plate appearance after being traded to the Red Sox. Got hit by a pitch on the wrist and probably out for the season. So it goes.
Right-handed bat.
So Taylor at first. Here's Brett Beatty. Takes first pitch splitter for a strike. Beatty flied out the center his first time up. So we noted in the second inning there was a period of time when the scoreboard where both teams read 0-0-1, no runs, no hits, 1 error. And you know Dave Freed, he loves a challenge.
He does.
So he went back in the archives and tried to find the last time a Mets game at any point had both teams at 0-0-1. And the last time was 14 years ago. just to, to emphasize how rare it is. That's pulled down the right field line, but foul. And I'm sure you'll be not pleased to know that on May the 4th, 2012, when the Mets played Arizona at Citi Field, the 0-0-1, both errors were charged to pitchers.
No.
Dylan G for the Mets, Wade Miley for the Diamondbacks.
Oh, jeez. I mean, Dylan was always a really good fielding pitcher.
He was. Here, only one pitcher error. 0-2 to Beatty with Alvarez on deck. And Brett pulls that one off the glove of Olsen and down the line. Teller around second. He'll go to third. And the Mets have runners at the corners. A bullet off the bat of Beatty, and it just beat Olsen. Went off the tip of his glove. It'll be scored a base hit.
When people talk about exit velocity, this is what they're talking about. A ball that's hit so hard that even a Gold Glover can't make the play. I bet you Olsen thinks he should have. It would have turned into a double play. But the ball just got on him so quick he couldn't get his glove up in time. And because it hit his glove, you can see Taylor can go to third, but it was slowed down. Acuna got to it to hold Beatty to first.
107 miles an hour off the bat for Beatty, so the Mets with their best scoring chance of the day. First and third, nobody out for Alvarez. Braves would get their infield back at double play depth to try and short circuit a big inning. And the Braves are going to hurry and get their bullpen cranking, with Smith-Shawver having issued a walk and given up a very hard hit single to start the fifth. Alvarez took a call third strike his first time up. And he goes up there hacking and fouls off the first pitch slider.
You know, we've seen so many different defensive placements of the infielders with no outs and runners in first and third. I wonder if Walt Weiss, an elite defender in his time, his feel for it is to play for two up the middle.
And Alvarez drills one to left. That'll get a run in at least. White's not going to get it. It's off the base of the wall. Taylor is in. Beatty to third. Alvarez slides in safely with an RBI double. And the Mets have broken the ice. Alvarez drives in a run, and it's 1-0 New York.
Well, Shawver Smith just not precise in this inning. Trying to come in with a two-seamer, rare two-seamer, and that ball stayed middle. Ball was hit so hard, no chance for the speedy White to get back. And of course, once the read is on for Beatty, he knows he's going to go first to third. Any misplay by the outfielder White, he might be able to score. If White had gotten this off the wall and had thrown the ball hard into second, they would have had a play. But he kind of lobbed it into the relay man, and that cost him maybe a play at Alvarez at second.
After Beatty hit it 107 miles an hour, Alvarez hit it 112. A couple of absolute scorchers give the Mets the lead, and now two in scoring position with nobody out. The infield comes halfway in against A.J. Ewing, who's 1 for 2 today. And gets a curveball and lines it to center. Tagging at third is Beatty. Harris makes the catch. Here comes Beatty. The throw on a hop is not in time. Beatty accelerating down the line and beating a strong throw by Michael Harris, and it's 2-0 New York.
Well, good hitting by Ewing here. Got a split finger up in the strike zone. Harris has got one of the strongest center field arms in baseball, but Beatty beat it. I was interested because I thought that Beatty might have left early and that they might appeal the third base, but they didn't.
It's going to be all for Smith-Shawver. So the Mets have played it 2 runs in the fifth. Beatty able to beat the throw home. Sacrifice fly by Ewing. And Didier Fuentes will come out of the bullpen for the Braves to replace A.J. Smith-Shawver. Call to the bullpen brought to you by Nissan.
If it's important to you, it's important to us. You're in good hands with Allstate.
Socrates Sculpture Park, right at the confluence of the Harlem and East Rivers in Astoria. Very picturesque view of Hellgate, which is the strait between Astoria and Ward's Island. All sorts of nice sculptures there. Nice place to hang out on a Wednesday afternoon. If you're not at the ball game. Didier Fuentes, the 21-year-old rookie from Colombia, is in to face Francisco Lindor, and this is way outside with his first fastball.
He's got some control issues, but this youngster has quite a fastball and uses it about 70% of the time. He can reach triple digits at times.
That's up 2 runs home in the inning. Alvarez at second with 1 out. And Lindor takes the fastball away, and it's 2-0. Lindor's been up twice, fly to center both times. So Lindor had a 2-home-run, 6 RBI game on Monday night. It's the second time this season the Mets have had a shortstop have a 2-home-run, 6 RBI game. Bo Bichette did it earlier this year while playing shortstop. So it's happened twice this season. In the first 64 years of Mets history, it happened once that a shortstop had 2 homers and 6 RBIs in a game, and that was Jerry Buchek. Who? Jerry Buchek in 1967. Buchek was more a second baseman than a shortstop, but nonetheless, he was the only one before Bichette and Lindor this year. Lindor's on with a walk.
Buchek?
That's correct, Jerry Buchek. Not to be confused with Eddie Versoud, who was here the previous year, 66.
Honestly, being here for 21 years, I feel like I've taken a master class in Mets history. I know more than I ever would have known.
Who would have thought that, being around here for, 8 years, 9 years as a player, you would have picked something up. Bichette gets jammed and pops one up. Infield fly rule invoked if it's fair, but it's foul, and Olsen grabs it for the second out. I mean, as a player, I guess you don't learn the history of the franchise you're playing for.
I think that the franchise personality, the franchise number 41, was so big that 69 team you knew everything about, but you know a lot about the other teams, and you didn't want to do a deep dive into 62 because you didn't want that coming your way.
It's all about the juju.
The karma.
Here's Carson Bench. He takes fastball strike. So Fuentes, whose first few fastballs came in at 95, aired that one out to 98. That's where he usually lives. You saw the underbelly of the Braves bullpen on Monday. They had played 5 straight 1-run games. All of their relievers had been tested. And so they hung poor Carl Thomas out to dry, and he gave up 11 runs in 2 2/3 as Miami has now taken the lead from the Phillies after being down 6-0. But the upshot is that because Thomas wore one for the team and was challenged by Bart, the Braves bullpen is now fully rested, having had yesterday and Monday off. Ball is overturned. It's a strike, so 1-2 to Ben. Bresson had a base hit up the middle his last time up, 1 for 2 on the day. That's 4 hits in this game. And he goes down swinging on the fastball, so Fuentes puts out the fire in the 5th, but the Mets get a couple of runs and lead 2-0. Specter of high-speed pitching. Sean Manaea leaning on his 4-seam fastball, both against the Dodgers in his last start and again today, more than he has in any other starts this year. Greg Baldwin takes first pitch sinker that misses for ball 1. Baldwin's been up twice, grounded into 4-6-3 double plays both times. He will not be able to pull off the Joe Torre because nobody's on base.
Did Joe only bat 4 times in that game?
4 at bats. Okay. Felix Millan hit ahead of him in the order. Millan hitting second. Joe hit third. It's a long fly ball to left. Taylor back to the wall. Can't get it. It's off the fence. And Baldwin pulls in at second base. call fooled Taylor a little bit at the wall, and Baldwin, after the 2 double plays, this time double.
Off the bat of a left-hander, when that ball's coming to you in left field, not only do you have to track how deep it is, and boy, you hit that right on the nose, but also it's going to tend to want the drift towards the foul line, and that's what fooled Taylor. I think he got there in time. He just wasn't in the right position.
4th hit against Minaya, and now Olson fouls off the first pitch sweeper. Anyway, Mian hit second. He went 4 for 4, 4 singles, and Joe grounded into double play each time. And Joe blamed it on Mian. He said, "Oh, if that had been for Felix, never would have happened."
Felix had that exaggerated choke up at the bat, right?
Yes, he did. Olson's been up twice, struck out both times against Minaya, swinging in the first, looking in the fourth. Tying run at the plate in a 2-0 game. Minaya misses up and away, 2 balls and a strike. Fly ball, deep right center. Back in the gap goes Benj. Back near the wall. It's out of here. Matt Olson ties the game with a 2-run homer. His 28th home run of the season. So the Mets take the lead, and the Braves strike right back.
And usually it's been the same culprit for the Atlanta Braves. Olson has just destroyed the Mets with the home run ball so far this year. Got ahead, got a pitch, didn't miss it.
So it's 2-2, and now Ozzie Albies. And he pops one up into shallow right. And Benj drifts in under it. And that's the first out.
Watch the contact. That ball's a little up. He had to pull his hands in and a little in. You can see that back foot coming right off the air, right out of the air as he pushes off to generate kind of that power from his back leg.
28 home runs, 6 of them against the Mets now for Olson. Tap to the left of the mound. In comes Lindor. Backhand and throws in time to get the speedy Harris. Nice play by Lindor, who had to make the adjustment and throw off balance. 2 out.
I think this was more difficult than the Eli White play because he had to throw across his body and he got enough on it to just get Harris at first.
So after the home run, Minaya gets 2 outs on his next 2 pitches. This is a way to Dubon. Ball 1. Dubon's been up twice, grounded out both times. Mets bullpen starts to crank. And Dubon swings and misses at a sweeper, and it's 1-1. Oscar Brazoban, who pitched on Monday night, is up in the Mets bullpen. Hooked in the air along the left field line. Taylor eases in and puts it away to retire the side. So after the home run, Minaya needed just 5 more pitches to get the 3 outs. 2-2 in the 6th.
See?
Bottom of the 6th, 2-2 game. Victor Medeiros, the new pitcher for the Braves, as he faces off against Jared Young to start things off in the home half of the 6th inning for the Mets. And guys, when you cover this sport on a daily basis, you have so many conversations. You never know what you're going to learn on any given day. And recently I've been talking to Jared Young and Brooks Raley about their experiences playing in Korea in the KBO. Did you guys know that after the 5th inning in every KBO game, there is a 5-minute break in the game where all the players, the umpires, everybody leaves the field, they go into the clubhouse, and they smoke cigarettes. Smoking is so prevalent in Korea that they have a smoke break after the 5th inning. And Jared Young said that the first time that he played in the KBO, he was so taken by surprise, had no idea this was happening, that he just ran out onto the field for the 6th inning like you normally would over here, and he turned around and nobody was on the field with him. He didn't know what was happening. Said he was the only player on his team in Korea that did not smoke, and while everybody else was in the clubhouse every single game, he would just sit in the dugout all by himself.
That is crazy.
I knew about that, and it's almost the opposite of the hydration break, right, that we got in the World Cup.
Vaughn couldn't get to the ground ball, and Young's got himself a base hit against Victor Medeiros, who has come on to pitch the 6th, and the Mets get the leadoff man on again.
Took kind of the right angle, but just off the edge of his glove. Umpire had to get out of the way again. He's everywhere.
I don't think he was going to have to play on Young. Even no ball. 5th time in 6 innings, the Mets have had the lead man on, and now Polanco facing the 25-year-old Cuban right-hander Victor Medeiros, who, in addition to his pitching 2 weeks ago in a game against Texas, got an at-bat.
Must have lost the DH or something.
And he got a hit. Bunted back to the pitcher. Medeiros makes the play. That'll go as a sacrifice. 1-3, moving Young up to 2nd.
Not only was it a hit, but the Braves put in the notes that it was 103 miles an hour.
Well, and it came against Pauli Bashioka. It was a 15-1 game. So he got, the pitcher got a hit against the position player, like Van Dyke's dog. So the go-ahead run in scoring position for Taylor, who struck out and walked today. Medeiros had some big league time with Anaheim each of the last 3 years. Now his 8th appearance for the Braves. It's a final in Miami. Griffin Conine's 2-run homer in the bottom of the 8th, the difference as the Marlins come from 6 runs down to beat the Phillies 8-6 and sweep that series. And the Marlins will be here tomorrow night. So they lost 12 in a row and then swept the Phillies.
Who knows? I mean, the game's so topsy-turvy. And the way it's being played. Miami, as you said, that big winning streak, and now to take three in a row, and the Mets are trying to help the Phillies here in this series.
3-0 to Taylor with Beatty on deck. And Tyrone takes ball 4. I think it's ball 4. Tyrone doesn't know it's ball 4.
On the board it says 4-0. I've never seen 4-0 on the board before.
It says 4-0 on the board, but I guess it must be 3-1. And now it's 3-2.
3-0 pitch.
That's the latest strike call I've ever seen. And it wasn't a strike. Good boy.
A little ditty about what Steve was talking about, the 5th inning break. I was shocked when I first came to the major leagues. It was a guys smoked and guys drank coffee. That's all I remember anyone doing all day long.
And Taylor goes down swinging on what should have been a walk. It winds up being a strikeout for the 2nd out.
Well, Ron, you say guys smoked and coffee. Jared Young said during the smoke break it was smoking and hard-boiled eggs. That's what they ate while they were smoking after the 5th inning, and then went and played baseball.
Like Cool Hand Luke?
I mean, sounds like Listerine is needed at some point.
Pitching change. They'll bring in the lefty Dylan Dodd with Beatty coming up. 2-2 in the 6th. We'll be right back to Citi Field.
The welcome home celebration is going on now. And
Mets Braves history. In recent years, it has not often gone the Mets' way. Braves have won the season series from the Mets 9 straight years. But the Mets lead 5-3 this year. Dylan Dodd into pitch. Marcus Semien into pinch hit for Brett Beatty. Semien has homered each of the last 2 games for New York, including a home run Sunday against the Dodgers. That was his first in his career as a substitute player. He wasn't a pinch hitter. He's been in the game defensively, but signs are pointing up for Marcus, who had 3 hits in the opening game of this series, including a home run. Monday's home run put the Mets in front to stay.
A couple of home runs and 6 RBIs in his last 6 games. That was a long one, over 420 on that hanging slider.
Young at second with 2 down. And Semien pops one foul back in that play.
Dylan Dodd has been awfully hard to hit. 104 at bats against him this year. Only 15 hits allowed.
His whip is 0.76.
That's a 138 average. 39 average.
And the cutter misses inside. 2-2. It's a good take by Semien.
Oh, you got to always stay with the foul ball. You never know when they're going to come down in your lap.
It's the equivalent of keeping on the tag. 2-2 coming. And Semien foul tips it for strike 3. So Dodd comes in and gets the 3rd out and keeps the game tied. 2-2 after 6.
What is
Who stays and who goes for the Mets? SNY MLB insider Chelsea Janes joins Connor and Joe for a full trade deadline preview on the latest episode of the Mets Pod. Subscribe and listen wherever you get your podcasts. View of Central Park Lake. Looking from Central Park west east. Oscar Brazoban on the pitch for the Mets as we go to the 7th.
In his last 5 appearances, he's only walked 1. We can remember back when control was the issue, not so much for Brazoban anymore.
Came in on Monday, retired the only 2 batters he faced. One of them was Austin Riley, who's now seen 7 pitches in this game, 7 strikes. Marcus Semien, who pinch hit, stays in at second base. Each team with 2 runs and 5 hits. And ball 1 to Riley. 1 ball, 1 strike. Lower third of the order, Riley, White, and Bart. Popped up on the right side. Jared Young gets under it, grabs it 1 out. So Riley retired, and now Mike Yastrzemski will bat for Eli White to give them a left-handed bat. White has gone 2 for 2 against Sean Manaea, but the Manaea portion of the game is over, so White is out. Manaea went 6, allowed 2 runs, 5 hits, 2 walks, 4 strikeouts, a hit batsman, a home run, 89 pitches. Lowered his ERA to 4.42. Yastrzemski fouls back Brazoban's first offering. Mike Yastrzemski now 35 years old. Not having his best offensive year. He had a really good season for Kansas City last year. 839 OPS. He's not been able to replicate that in the Braves uniform. Brazoban just missed with a sinker, 2 balls and a strike.
Yastrzemski got off to a pretty good start in April, but come back to the field since then. Less playing time as well.
Well, now with Acuna back, that playing time will dry up even more.
Although he might get a start in game 2 against Christian Scott.
Yeah, I don't know if they could run Acuna out in 2 games in 1 day.
I'm just thinking maybe DH Acuna at best.
Maybe. Right, because Baldwin will probably be catching anyway. 2-2 from Brazoban. And misses with the changeup, full count. Mets trying to win their third straight game. They haven't had a 3-game winning streak since late May. And here we are in the waning days of July. Billy Bard on deck, 3-2 to Yastrzemski. And he pops one up into shallow right. Semien goes out. 2 out. 2 batters, 2 pop-ups, 2 retired. Rosamond is just on an amazing roll. And he's one of those guys who is under player control for, what, 3 more years?
Right.
And, you know, he's 36 years old, so you don't know how he's going to age in the job, but you do know that he's at the most effective he's ever been in his life.
Less big league innings, though, at his age than most. So there might be a lot of life in his arm. He's gotten better since he's gotten here, certainly.
Well, I know that on the trade market, because he is under control, that's blooped on the right side, and Semien will get this. He's got a lot of value. And if the Mets get commensurate value, then maybe they'll listen. 2-2 in the 7th.
Put it right next to the guy that couldn't get the water bottle open.
Well, that guy had a lot more weight training than this young man. Home 7th inning, 2-2 game. Francisco Alvarez drove in the first run of the day with a long double to left center in the 5th. Now facing the lefty Dylan Dodd, who got the final out in the 6th. And he fouls off his first cutter, 0-1. The Diamondbacks shut out the Pirates today, 3-0. 8 scoreless innings for Eduardo Rodriguez. And with that, Arizona now has the same record as Philadelphia. They're tied for the 2nd wild card spot.
Boy, this ball was small. What did you say, Gary? 112 off the bat? And over the head of Eli White.
Speaking of hitting catchers, we were talking about the Diamondbacks. Gabriel Moreno went 1 for 3 today. He has now reached base safely in 45 consecutive starts.
He has turned into what they always thought he would turn into.
One-two from Dodd. On the way to Alvarez, 2-2. Ewing and Lindor to follow here in the 7th. Well, there are the wild card standings up to the moment, with the Diamondbacks winning and the Phillies losing. Marlins still hanging in. So are the Pirates, Nationals, Padres. Even the Cardinals, who have struggled since the All-Star break, are still just 3 games out. And Alvarez down on strikes. So Dodd has come in and fanned the first 2 batters he's faced. 1 out in the 7th.
Remember, it was the Diamondbacks who broke the hearts of the Phillies in 2023 as this fastball just eludes the bat upstairs of Alvarez. Just swung through it. 2023, they were behind in the series and came back and won Game 6 and Game 7 in Citizens Bank Park.
And, of course, the Diamondbacks are also very cognizant about tiebreakers. Having been edged out 2 years ago by the Mets and Braves on the last day. So I believe that by beating the Pirates today, they clinched the season series against Pittsburgh. So that's 1 out. Ewing's reached on there, singled, and had a sacrifice fly. 4 for 7 in this series. And that one jammed him, and he stopped the swing. Ball and a strike. Braves 2 runs, 5 hits, 1 error. The Mets 2 runs, 5 hits, 1 error. Ewing takes a slider outside. It's 2-1. up and in on him. 3-1.
That's 2 pitches he meant to throw down in the way. They were up and in on Ewing. See Luke Weaver up in the bullpen.
And Ewing lashes one foul, and it's 3-2. Francisco Lindor waiting on deck. Dodd, the 4th Atlanta pitcher of the day. 3-2 coming to Ewing, and he walked him. So Ewing is on base yet again. It's 4 walks for Atlanta pitchers, and Ewing has already stolen 2 bases in this game. Is on for Lindor. Dodd probably not as easy a mark to run on as Smith-Shawver was. We'll see if Ewing has any inclination. Lindor is 0 for 2 and a walk today. Getting a lot of right-handed at-bats in this series. Both of his home runs and his triple came as a right-hand batter on Monday. And he'll get more right-handed at-bats in the nightcap today with Chris Sale going. Opposing base stealers 2 for 2 against Dodd this year. And Lindor takes fastball high, and it's 1-1. Smith-Shawver in his first start back from Tommy John went 4 1/3, 2 runs, 4 hits. Didier Fuentes got 2 outs. So did Victor Medeiros, and now Dodd. 1 on and 1 out. And Lindor fouls back a high cutter, and it's 1-2.
Got a pitch to hit there. Love to have that one back. Remember, Lindor's strength is that middle of the plate in up. That's the pitch he hits out of the ballpark.
One-two coming from Dodd. And this is up and away. 2-2. Bichette waiting on deck. Nobody up behind Dodd, so he'll be in to try and finish this inning. Pounds one into the ground on a cutter. Still 2-2. Ewing has shown no signs of being able to read Dodd.
Well, new pitcher for him. Hasn't seen a lot of them.
The old man has had 3 stolen bases in a game in the last 12 years. Juan Lagares was the last to do it. 2014.
This game is tight, and the scoreboard has stayed tight. Gary started the theme. 2 runs for each team, 5 hits. And an error.
Well, it's progress from 0-1. 2-2 to Lindor. And he lays off on a slider in the dirt. And full count. Second straight full count for Dodd. Mets are .500 against the East. They have a winning record against the Braves, and they've held their own against the others. 15-15 overall against their own division. 17 under against everybody else. 3-2, 1 out. Ewing not running, and Lindor reaches for ball 4 and fouls it off. Why would you not send?
I was just thinking, I would send him. The reason being is that Lindor's been hot from this left side. He's seen a lot of at-bats against the left-handed. And what you're counting on is that for him not to strike out. I'm betting on Lindor, so that means I send Green.
8th pitch of the at-bat from Dodd. And it's inside, ball 4, so back-to-back walks to Ewing and Lindor set the table for Bichette. Mets have been drawing a lot of walks lately. They drew 7 of them on Sunday against the Dodgers, 6 in the opening game of this series, and now 5 today. Jeremy Hefner, the Braves pitching coach. Still sounds strange to say that.
I know, right? Big Hef coming out to talk to his young left-hander. fourth pitch at this ballpark, right? Yeah.
No, yeah. I think 13 or 14 was his last
13
year.
or 14. I think he hit a home run in this ballpark as well.
Danny Young, another former Met, up in the bullpen. Mets are 1 for 9 with runners in scoring position today. A couple of those attempts belonged to Bichette, who was robbed a hit by Eli White in the first inning and then fouled out with a couple of men on in the fifth. Ewing at second, Lindor at first with 1 out. Tie game, 7th inning. And Bichette takes a letter high strike, 0-1. You see those runners in scoring position numbers coming into today. Bichette facing Dodd for the first time. And he foul tips one, and it's 0-2.
Ewing was really thinking of trying to steal on that pitch, but just aborted the effort at the last second. Lindor almost got caught out there trying to double steal.
Yeah, if you're Ewing, you don't want to go unless you're sure you're going to make it with 2 out. Excuse me, it's 1 out. 2-strike count to Bichette. And Bo fouls one back. Carson Bench, the on deck guy. Todd does not usually walk people. He had walked only 9 batters in 27 appearances coming into the day, but now he's walked back-to-back hitters here in the 7th. And Bichette flies one out to right. Acuna has it measured. Ewing goes back to tag. He'll go over to third. Now there are 2 out. So it's left to Carson Bench, who's 1 for 3 on the day. Carson struck out with a couple of men on to end the 5th. And Dodd trying to work around a couple of walks in the 7th.
This lefty-lefty matchup, if you're Ewing, you want to get off that third base bag. If you catch a slider in the dirt, you might be able to score, even if it doesn't get too far away from Bart.
A lot of up and in to Bench lately.
He's got a little pocket in there that's not his strength, and he was able to, for a long period of time, kind of fist that ball into left center, but we've seen less of those hits the last couple of weeks.
Another one in on him. 1-1. And Bench came into the day hitting .258. DJ Rumsfeld of the Rockies leads NL rookies in batting average. Connor Griffin is out. Bryce Eldridge has had a terrific rookie year for the Giants. And another one up and in. So 3 straight pitches on the inner half or further in. Jared Young is on deck. Mets still have plenty of right-handed bats in the dugout. Up that one away, and it's 2-2.
Well, after all those pitches in and then dotted the outside corner. As good as he gets. Still big strike left here for Bench.
Trying to pick up Ewing from third with the lead run. 2-2.
Driven to right field. That's down for a base hit. It's going to roll all the way back to the wall. Ewing is in. Lindor will stop at third. Carson Bench left on left with the RBI double to put the Mets in front 3-2. Just tomahawked that ball into right field for his 41st run batted in.
Gary, how about a young player making an in-plate adjustment? And I think that's what Bench did. After all those balls inside, He catches another one inside and just got out ahead of it. So jammed in the first few pitches inside. This time, no. Line drive to right field produces the go-ahead run. Look at where that pitch is. They were trying to go up and out of the strike zone. He makes them pay.
Now Jared Young will stay in to face Dodd, and he gets hit by the pitch, and that'll load him up for Polanco. I was a little surprised that Young was left in to bat because they got Luis Robert and Eric Wagaman, among others, in the dugout, but that's a moot point now. Paul Weiss on his way to the mound. He's going to bring Danny Young into the game. With the bases loaded to face Polanco.
Take one more look at the bench adjustment and swing here. Just really brought those hands in and got on top of that high fastball. That pitch usually delivers a swing throw, a swing and miss, or a pop-up. This was a line drive from bench.
Mets have regained the lead, looking for more in the seventh. Danny Young coming in. We'll be right back.
And per pound. Good things are in store at Stop & Shop.
Mets have taken the lead in the bottom of the seventh. First half of a day-night doubleheader. They've got a chance for more facing their old mate Danny Young, who's back from Tommy John surgery and has pitched well for the Braves. Facing Jorge Polanco with bases loaded and 2 out. Polanco's 0 for 2 and a sacrifice. And a fastball in for a strike, 0-1.
Young facing right-handed hitters. They're only 1 for 11 off him, and we know from his time earlier with the Mets, a lot of ground balls.
Lindor at third, Benj at second, Young at first with 2 down. And Polanco grounds one softly to first base, foul, and it's 0-2. It's such a rough go for Polanco. 0 for 2 and a sacrifice today. But for his career, he's a .326 hitter with the bases loaded. And Polanco takes a slider down. 1 ball, 2 strikes.
When you watch Young, he will turn his back on the hitter, and all you can see is Young, 63, hides that ball well before delivering to the plate.
1-2. Tried to backdoor the sweeper, got the call, strike 3, side retired. That's label loaded, but they take the lead on Benj's double.
40 years later, the legends return. Be here August 1st as the 1986 World Series champion Mets reunite at
Honda Sports Night on SNY.
Hello and welcome to Honda Sports Night.
All night, every night, starting at 11, only on SNY.
Hey, it's Gary and Todd. Postgame show on the way. Really good piece of hitting there from Carson Bench.
Yeah, big hit. And some of the guys on the trade block helping their day out today.
All right, we will see you guys coming up. Mercedes-Benz postgame live when you're finished. Gary, Ron.
All right, gentlemen, Luke Weaver comes on to pitch for the Mets as we go to the 8th inning. Luke pitched on Sunday, got himself into a jam and then out of it by making a fabulous defensive play.
Right, one of the best I've ever seen to end the inning on a swinging bunt.
At the top of the batting order, Ronald Acuna, who has really good career numbers against Weaver, 5 for 14 with a home run. Acuna's 0 for 2 and a walk today. Hit the ball hard his last time up, lining out to left field. And the first pitch, changeup. And Acuna badly fooled, 0-1. Oscar Braziman, now pitcher of record on the long side. He faced 3 batters, got 3 weak pop-ups. And now in line for the win. After Sean Manaea went the first 6, allowing 2 runs and 5 hits. And Acuna takes a fastball judged outside, but challenged by Alvarez. Scott Berry, the home plate umpire, called the ball. And it was a ball.
Oh, it's confirmed it was a ball.
So the Mets are down to their final challenge. Frank Baldwin and Matt Olson to follow after Acuna playing just his second game after missing 38 games with a hamstring injury. He chops one foul up for the third base line, and it's 1-2. Tarek Skubal, what might have been his final start for the Tigers, went 6 2/3, 3 runs, 4 hits. Tigers trying to hang on. They're up 7-5 on the Orioles in the 8th. Acuna chases the changeup for strike 3. Beautifully done by Weaver for the first out.
What a great game plan Weaver had there. Was not going to allow him to have a fastball to hit. And because he has been out for so long, Acuna right now, very little pitch recognition. Swung at 3 balls, 3 changeups off the plate.
Not Drake Baldwin, who hit a long double to left that eluded Tyrone Taylor up against the wall in the 6th inning. Came around to score on Matt Olson's home run, and he takes a fastball strike from Weaver. Very much the same story for Luke Weaver as for Huascar Brazoban. Player who's under team control for next year. That's line to right field, and Baldwin's got his second hit of the day. And now Olson will come up with the tying run aboard. But, you know, a situation where Weaver should have tremendous value in the trade market. If the Mets get what they feel he's worth, certainly he would be among those who might be traded.
A good low ball hitter, Baldwin has always been since he's been in the big leagues. You're so right, but at some point you'd like to keep these really good players for. There is a season at some point next year.
Here's Olson, who hit a 2-run homer to tie the game in the 6th, and he fouls off the first pitch.
I think he hit this on a 2-0 fastball upstairs from Minaya.
Olson is 0 for 6 in his career against Weaver. Well, I think the counter argument to that is that other than a small few, reliever performance tends to fluctuate the most from year to year of all the groups of players.
The fungibility of the reliever.
Weaver's having a fantastic year, and he might have a fantastic year next year. But if you can get full value for a guy who's under contract for next year, Baldwin a slow runner at first. He's the tying run, and Olson swings and misses at a changeup, and it's 2-2. On deck.
What would be a return for Weaver that would make sense? A stud pitcher in the minor leagues for a system?
I think if you get starter, if you can get 2 of a team's top 10 prospects,
okay,
for certain.
All right.
Two coming. Up and away with the fastball, full count.
Boy, tough decision here for Weaver and Alvarez. Olson has such a good eye. You can't get him really to chase. So do you try to throw the kick change here?
He does strike out a lot.
He does strike out a lot.
116 strikeouts this year, including 2 today. Baldwin at first, 1 out, not running, and a ground ball to short should be 2. The step by Lindor, 6-6-3 double play, side retire. Luke Weaver puts up a 0 in the 8th, 3-2 New York. Here's your Audi game-changing drive, Carson Bench.
Jumped all over that high fastball, Gary. Line drive to right, double. And the youngsters get it done. Benj with the hit and Ewing with the run scored.
That's a look for some insurance against the veteran right-hander Tyler Kinley.
Plenty of sliders from Kinley. That's his best pitch.
Taylor takes fastball up and away for ball one. Taylor's 0 for 2 in a walk today. It's got 2 runs in the 5th on an RBI double by Alvarez and a sac fly by Ewing. And after Olson tied the game, Benj's double in the 7th put the Mets back in front. And slider on the outside corner, strike 1-1. Devin Williams up in the Mets bullpen after Weaver faced 3 batters in the 8th. Braves will have Albies, Harris, and Dubon up in the 9th. 1-run victories have been elusive for the Mets this season. They're 9-19 in 1-run games.
That's why I say play small ball here. Just get a run. Get the leadoff hitter on. Try to push across 1 run at least.
Slider low and away, and it's 2-2. The Orioles come back to tie the Tigers 7-7 in the 8th. No win for Skubal. 2-2. Fly ball center field, pretty well hit. Back goes Harris to the warning track, and he's there to make the catch. There is a calm about Michael Harris that is unmatched in center field.
When I played in the 80s and 90s, there was a center fielder for the Blue Jays and Angels, Devon White, and he used to go back on fly balls like it was the easiest game in the world, and Michael Harris is right up there with him.
Now Marcus Semien up for the 2nd time. Struck out as a pinch hitter in the 6th. And takes curveball down for ball 1. Braves have used 6 pitchers today. Old Weiss had his whole bullpen available, so he's run most of them out there. There's another game to be played tonight. 7:10 first pitch.
But you kind of knew that going in because of Shabber Smith, the starter, first start coming off Tommy John surgery, so they were going to be extra careful.
A.J. Smith-Shabber went 4 1/3, allowed 2 runs, 4 hits. The bullpen's given up only 1 run, but that run is the difference right now. Semien fouls back a high slider, and it's 1-2. Second game tonight, Christian Scott will pitch for the Mets. He'll have a couple of extra days rest. He hasn't pitched since last Wednesday. It was a struggle for him in Milwaukee. See if he can throw some more strikes tonight. Chris Sale will go up against him. That's looped into left field. Coming on is Yastrzemski, and he slides and he makes the catch. Yastrzemski looked a little unsure at first as to whether he was going to lay up or try and make the play, but he made the slide and grab, 2 out.
That's 2 good catches from their left fielders, picking it right off the turf. Eli White earlier, and now Yastrzemski here in the 8th.
So 2 out and nobody on. Now Alvarez, who had the RBI double in the 5th that plated the game's first run. Alvarez lays off. That one caught the inside corner. A backup slider, 1-1. One coming. Swing and miss at a slider. 1-2. Blue Jays lead the Nationals 2-1 in the 8th. As your Honda Sports Night rostered tonight at 11 o'clock. Baseball and football and the rest of the day in New York sports on Honda Sports Night tonight at 11. 1-2 to Alvarez. inside. You know, I keep hearing C.J. Abrams might be on the trading block. How would that be? Why would you do that?
He's one of the pieces moving forward, isn't
Going
he?
to break up the best offense in baseball?
I don't get it either.
And, you know, it's not like they're out of it. They came into the day a game out of a postseason berth. 2-2 on the way. Foul.
I think that when you hear that noise, it's thinking that they could get some pitching back that will change, you know. But it's not going to change without keeping Abrams there.
They already got one pitcher.
That's right.
Connolly Early from the Red Sox. So far, they've won that deal, even though Early hasn't thrown a pitch for them yet. Here's the 2-2. Grounded to shortstop. And Dubon has it. That retires the side. Devin Williams in to try and save it as we go to the ninth. 3-2 New York.
Ford stores.
Mets trying to win a third straight game for the first time in nearly 2 months. They've got a skinny lead as we go to the ninth, and Devin Williams will try to protect it.
14 out of 17 this year. Has to face both Albies and Harris. First two hitters.
Last pitched on Sunday against the Dodgers. By the time he came in, the Mets had a 5-run lead. He gave up a leadoff hit and struck out 3 in a row. Albies 0 for 3 today after driving in all 3 runs for the Braves in the first game of this series. And he takes the first fastball high from Devin, ball 1.
Braves also have a good left-handed bat on the bench if need be.
You mean Dom Smith?
The dominator.
Swing and a miss at a fastball, and it's 1-1 to Albies, who's 1 for 5 in his career against Williams. Harris on deck, then Dubon. And Albies pulls the changeup foul, and it's 1-2. Sean Manaea went 6, allowed 2 runs, 5 hits. Huascar Brazoban a 1-2-3 7th. He's pitcher of record on the long side. Luke Weaver, a scoreless 8th, and now Williams trying to seal the deal. Ahead on Albies 1-2. And a pop-up into shallow right. Simeon calling all the way. 1 out. Don't forget, makeup game tonight, second half of the day-night doubleheader, will be on the air at 6:30 with the pregame. First pitch at 7:10. Keith will amble his way in. Kristen Scott and Chris Sale, the pitching matchup.
Rumor is Gelbsey's got the open, Gary, so take it easy.
I'll be taking a nap, thank you. Here's Michael Harris, and he takes a fastball that just missed. Ball 1. Mets do have 1 challenge remaining, and the Braves have both of theirs. Harris was retired on a fine play by Lindor his last time up. 0 for 2 and a walk today. Fastball misses high, 2-0. Harris is 1 for 3 in his career against Williams. And the changeup popped up, shallow left. On comes Taylor. He gets there. 2 out. 2 batters, 2 pop-ups, 2 outs. Well, the Braves are down to their final out. And they will not use Dom Smith. They will stay with the right-hand batter, Mauricio Dubon. Dubon has gone 0 for 3 today. He's 2 for 4 in his career against Devin Williams. And he swings and misses at a first pitch fastball, 0-1. Two out and nobody on. And Dubon fouls it back, and the Braves are down to their final strike. Dubon. Next off the plate, cutter there from Williams. He's mixed that pitch in a little bit the last couple of outings.
Especially when he knows he can miss with it.
Now the 1-2. Lays off on the changeup, and it's 2-2. Austin Riley would be next. Two and two to Mauricio Dubon. Fouled away. A good fastball there that he was able to waste. Devin Williams bidding for his 15th save of the year. He's one strike away. 2-2. Line to center field, a base hit for Dubon, and the tying run is on base. So Dubon keeps the Braves alive with a 2-out single. And once again, Walt Weiss will decline to send up Dom Smith as a pinch hitter. He'll stick with the slumping Austin Riley. Jorge Mateo will run for Dubon. Great speed at first base.
Good at bat by Dubon. Keeps that ball away, just gets and reaches out. He's so far off the plate, but still able to cover that ball away.
So now Riley, who has struck out twice and popped up, trying to keep the Braves alive with Mateo the tying run at first and 2 out. And Riley fouls away a first pitch fastball. The Mets have been throwing Riley fastballs all day, and he just has not been able to square one up.
Mateo has a huge lead at first base as Williams calls for another ball. The problem with Riley is that at some point you feel like he's going to snap out of it. Just hopefully not today.
Wait till they get out of town.
Right.
Alvarez sets up away. Mateo runs. The throw by Alvarez. A good one. And he's out. The ball game is over. The Braves will challenge it, no doubt. But Alvarez with a perfect strike. And the Braves will challenge it because why wouldn't they?
I thought he got to the out.
Atlanta's challenging the outfield second base.
Tag. And he did.
Ooh, they're going to overturn this.
Yeah.
Second base umpire Tom Hanahan called him out, but he appeared to get that other mitt to the bag before the tag by Semien, and he did not lose contact with the bag.
It was just a really good slide, and he got that left hand right to the outside part of the bag. One of the hardest things to do is steal a base when everyone knows you're trying to. Mateo pulls it off.
If he gets it, it'll be his 10th stolen base of the year and would put the tying run in scoring position. Was the pitch called a strike or was it a ball?
And it was a ball. It was off the plate away.
So it'll be a 1-1 count. And the home plate umpire just confirmed that with Riley, who was asking.
After review, the corner field is overturned. The runner is safe.
So the ball game is not over.
You made a great call, though.
It was a worthy call.
He
called him out. He was over.
No, what was great about it is that you anticipated, because Alvarez just got out of the catcher's box so quickly through such a great gem of a throw. But Mateo got it.
So Williams has more work to do. 1-1 to Riley. A base hit could tie the game. And Riley tops one foul with a changeup, and once again Williams has the Braves down to their final strike. Riley's 1 for 3 in his career against Williams. One-two coming. Just got a piece of the changeup to stay in.
Well, 1-2. He's got plenty of pitches to work with, right? Because of the count. He never usually throws a pitch 3 times in a row. Those 2 changeups in a row. You could take a chance, high fastball out of the strike zone, then go back to your best pitch.
1-2 to Riley. He
struck him out, and this time the ball game is over. Devin Williams gets the save. Mets get 3 scoreless innings from their bullpen. Carson Bench with the game winner. And for the first time since late May, the Mets have won 3 games in a row as they beat the Braves in the opener of a day-night doubleheader 3-2.
Don't forget Ewing with a hit and a couple of stolen bases and scored the go-ahead run. Last pitch is just a paint job right at the letters outside corner with something on it. And Sean Manaea now, Gary, in his last 4 starts, has given up 10 earned runs. Quality from Sean.
He had one mistake against him. That was the Matt Olson 2-run homer that tied the game. That cost him a chance for a win, but another quality outing from Manaea, and the Mets now have won 6 of 9 from the Braves this season. Today's win is brought to you by Moo. Create a Moo account and join Winners Rush. For every Mets win is your chance to win, too. Terms and conditions apply. Moo Financial Inc. member FINRA SIPC. There is your game summary. Carson Bench, the go-ahead RBI double in the 7th against the lefty Dylan Dodd. And the Mets have taken the first 2 of this series and go for the sweep of the series tonight. The Amazing Mets Foundation is proud to contribute $2,500 to Northwell Health and the Cass Institute for Women's Health for every Mets win. For more information, visit northwell.edu/cats. The total contribution so far this season is $115,000. New York Mets baseball on SNY is brought to you by your Tri-State Chevy dealers. Visit ChevyOffers.com. By Citizens, make sense of your money with Citizens. By Bet365, where winning is everything. And by the Hyundai Getaway Sales Event, deals so right they almost feel wrong, only at your local Hyundai dealer. Final score this afternoon, the Mets 3, the Braves 2. Tonight, the back end of the day-night doubleheader, Christian Scott against Chris Sale, coverage at 6:30. First pitch, 7:10 tonight, right here on SNY. Now for Ron Darling, Steve Gelbs, and our entire SNY crew, I'm Gary Cohen at Citi Field. After this break, it's Mercedes-Benz postgame live with Gary Apple and Todd Zeal.